Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living in Northern California. Today we're going to give you a market update. First, you might be wondering why the background's a little bit different. Well, if you look at our pros and cons video of new builds and resales, one of the cons was in new builds, there's construction, and so they got something going on across the street. Hope you don't mind. Anyways, today, what are we going to talk about, Rose? I'm a little curious. Things are changing.
Yeah, no, totally. So we're going to talk about what happened with interest rates in the last couple weeks, some news about FHA Mortgage Insurance, and then also just giving you guys an update on what we're seeing in the market here in California. So before we get started, if you're new to our channel, make sure to give a little love to that subscribe button and click on that notification button so you can be the first to know about what's happening here in Northern California.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Ready? What do you want to jump into?
So let's talk about interest rates.
I think that's probably the most important thing, right? Because that is pretty much what's driving this market, interest rates. And what we saw in December and January, we saw a nice peak in real estate activity, right?
Yeah.
It's still busy, but it's really busy in January and the beginning of February. And I believe that was because interest rates were coming down. It peaked out at about a little bit over 7.
Yes, so it's about 7.25 is when we reached the highest, and then dropped down to 5.99.
Whew.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we saw it go up again.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So there was a slight uptick in interest rates, and we were trying to figure out, what was going on. So we reached out to some of our mortgage partners, and it was because of the job growth. Unfortunately, because the job growth is strong and there's a number of jobs that were created, it's going to drive the economy. People are going to continue to buy. And then we also got the inflation numbers for January, and it went up more than what was expected. So I think it was up 0.5. In November and December, I think it went up like 0.1, 0.2.
Do you have the actual numbers?
I believe the inflation number for January is at like 6.5.
Got it. So it almost dipped below 6 and then went up to 6.5.
Yeah. So
what does that do to the market?
Well, so obviously the inflation, the Fed is trying to control inflation, and so seeing job growth and inflation numbers go up, they, the bond market reacted in a negative way. So that's why we saw interest rates go to 6.8 at the highest. So, they're still going to continue, they will probably continue now increasing the Fed rate, which is going to affect consumer spending. But what we heard is that there's still a lag of the inflation numbers to include the deceleration of home prices. So now they're saying that the numbers for 39% of inflation numbers has to do with home prices.
Right.
So there's
CPI numbers.
Right. So there's a lag in that number. And so now the target rate that the analysts are saying is that they think rates will go back down in about May. So May is a target date that they've moved. Before it was February, and now it's May. And obviously no one has a crystal ball. This is all based on data and numbers that they're looking at. Obviously things shift and fluctuate. There's no one, you can't control jobs, you can't control, people spending. I mean, technically they're trying to, but these are kind of like moving targets. But based on the information that we have, and are hearing from the analysts, that's kind of that target sweet spot right now is in the May time frame. So, we do expect rates to come down.
Come in May, I'm going to check out this video. I'm going to see where rates are, see if you're right. Because one thing that we did say that interest rates we do predict to come down.
February-ish.
Yeah, and it did in December and January. And then job reports came out. Economies, jobs are doing good. That's a good thing. But it's also still creating a lot of spending. Inflation went up a little bit, and that reacted negatively, and that raised interest rates, they're trying to slow things down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So what are we seeing? Like I'm seeing articles that right now is going to be, this year might be one of the best times to
Yeah.
buy,
Yeah.
right? Since
Yeah.
in
2008,
years now.
yeah.
Wow.
So there was an article on Yahoo Finance said that this might be the beginning. We're we're not in it yet, but we're entering a time where it's a good time to buy since 2008. And I think that has to do with, where we see interest rates going. There is a deceleration in home prices in certain areas, but I'm also seeing like big time entrepreneurs and investors getting into the real estate market. So there was an article also, and we'll post all that information on this video, but Jeff Bezos is buying yeah,
One of the richest people on the planet.
Right.
He's buying houses?
Buying up houses. There's also Elon Musk is buying. So there's an article about Elon Musk partnering with Lennar to buy homes in Texas so that he can house his employees.
Yeah.
So if these big hitters are purchasing homes, getting into the market, and what's that, saying that you always talk about,
be greedy when people are fearful, right? That's usually a time to buy, is because fear is going to lower prices, get you deals, and be fearful when people are greedy, right? When we see markets go up so much, psychology is just, you feel like you're missing out, right? FOMO, fear of missing out, and it makes you think, even though I know it's gonna eventually come back down, everybody's buying right now, let me get in there.
Yeah.
And just everybody stockpiles until it comes down, right?
Yeah.
So the real smart money is going to wait for that time to pass. They're gonna wait for things to come down, and when things come down and everybody's scared, they're gonna buy it up, and guess who's gonna be looking good in a few years? The people that, it's smart money. These guys aren't afraid to stop spending when needed, hold some cash, and wait for the opportunity. If you look at Warren Buffett, he wasn't buying a lot of stocks in 2021 when stock market was just skyrocketing. And I was thinking, he's missing out on so much money. But he's a smart man. He knows, he sees the psychology of everybody getting in the market. It was kind of fueled by the stimulus money, right? There was trillions of dollars that was given out, and the stock market shot up just like the real estate market, like it shouldn't have done, right? And so I know we are looking at deals constantly. We have some savvy clients that are also doing it. The thing about this channel is we have people from all over the world looking to move to Sacramento, because Sacramento is one of the fastest growing places in California right now, and they're hearing that and they're seeing deals, and we're getting some really good deals out there.
Yeah. And just on a side note with investors though, like I am literally getting text messages from investors asking if there's any off-market opportunities. I probably in the last month have had maybe 8 investors reach out to me about purchasing a home. So if investors are investing in real estate right now, they're not afraid to put money into a market.
But here's the thing, investors are investing when the market's high. Investors are investing when the market's low. It's better time when it's low, but you can never time the market.
Right.
And if we're investing in something, we're not supposed to time. Now, it
is
is awesome to time and get lucky, but you're better off if you're willing to wait and hold. Real estate is a slower process. So if you put your money into a real estate market, even at the top, if you're planning on holding, it's not going to crash, and it's not going to drop like the stock market will.
Right.
Give it time and it will come back, and in the long term, you are going to make a great investment.
So 2 points on that. Over the years, over a couple decades of real estate, it's a real estate goes up in appreciation an average of 5 years, even when there's a downturn. So if you stick and hold, you're guaranteed to get appreciation on your property.
In 5 years, I mean, we haven't seen that any time. So that's like a long,
and let alone,
worst case scenario, right?
Yeah, and then let alone when you're paying your mortgage, you're paying down your principal balance. So you're getting appreciation, and then you're also paying down your balance, so you're gaining equity on that. One thing that I heard at a conference that we went to on Friday, one of the speaker was like, hey, we always get the question asked, you know, when is it a good time to buy, right? But her question was like, hey, when is it a good time to rent? Because rent is 100% interest. You don't get that money back. You don't, you know, rent doesn't usually come down. It's usually on an uptrend.
So you're saying the $300,000 to $500,000 that we've thrown away on rent in our lifetime, we're not getting that back?
No, I'm sorry.
Seriously, we're not. Think about it. We've spent a
Yeah.
lot of money in our lifetime on rent, and we
Yeah.
are not getting it back. But guess what? We fueled our landlord's mortgage,
Exactly.
and we're the smart ones to
Yeah.
get this and rent it out.
And
right?
sometimes you have to think about the sacrifices that you have to make to invest in your future, right? So, you know, I'm sorry you can't have Starbucks for a couple years or, you know, buy certain things, but, you know,
Hold on, no Starbucks for a couple years?
buy an espresso. I have like, my Nespresso tastes so much better than Starbucks nowadays. So
No, hey,
anyways,
not Starbucks. We love Starbucks.
off the tangent now. So honestly, like, you know, there's never really a good time to predict the market, when to get in, but obviously the sooner you guys get in, the more wealth you'll build over time. And you know, you have an opportunity to buy the house that you like now, because we're seeing deals, we're still seeing some negotiations, and I've actually heard one of the real estate experts say that resale homes are actually the last to bottom out in a changing market, because they don't lose as much money as the builders. So builders, they're dropping prices, they're giving houses away if they need to, because when they have inventory, they're paying a lot of property taxes on these homes that are now like from the land, so they pay property taxes on the land, but once each individual parcel's built, they now have to pay market value property taxes on these homes that are like $5, $6, $7, $800,000 or more. So that's a lot of money the builders are losing. So they're more inclined to drop prices versus an owner. If I'm selling my house and I haven't really come to the realization of what the market's doing, I'm not gonna drop my prices that much, maybe like 10, 15,000. So we may see some price reductions from resale homes still, but like I heard, in downturns like changing markets, resale goes down a little bit slower than new construction, because the sellers are not, you know, kind of just.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
With interest rates going up, have we seen it slow down?
No. So we
Us
actually.
personally, right?
Yeah,
Do we know if it's slowing it down?
No, I actually, you know, we've actually been, you know, just for let's start with our area.
Yeah.
So we've been looking at properties for our clients who are out of state. We actually, in the lower price points, we've seen wait lists come back. So because people know that interest, I think maybe buyers who are waiting on the sidelines are kind of getting the point, rates are never going to get back to threes, get in the market now, and then, you know, rates may go down, so I'll just refinance. Or there's also the 2-1 buy downs people are taking advantage of. There's
Certain loan
yeah,
programs,
so
right?
yeah. And so when we're going to the builders, we actually went to a couple this last week, and they have a wait list for certain lots.
So
they're
today's
not taking
February,
offers.
you know,
Oh, go ahead.
today's February 27th, Monday, 2023. Happy birthday, George. And last weekend and last week, we went to 2 new builds in Folsom. They're new to the market. I'm not making this up. I'm not just saying this. They were both days that we went the busiest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There's probably
Yeah.
about 20 groups that were just going through. We were trying to
Well,
do
like-
video, and there was every single time we just had to do it with people in the house, because
Yeah.
every house had people in it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then we're talking to the salespeople as well, and I'm asking it, is it because it's a lower price point that it's so busy? And in Folsom, these homes were starting at $490,000. That's an extremely low price point for Folsom. It's a beautiful home. They did really good. Check out our video for TriPoint. That'll show those videos. But they said no, actually our expensive homes in the
Yeah.
millions are really good as well. So personally, we're not seeing anything with the interest rates going up. I know there might be some stuff out there that's saying
Well, also,
it's slowing
builders
down.
are giving incentives. You know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some builders have like, hey, use our lender and we'll get you a 5% interest rate,
Sure.
or buy down rates or whatnot. So, you know, builders again are are doing the right things to get their inventory off. But when we did talk to her, one of the builders, they said that they're not even taking offers, which
Right.
means
Things are changing.
yeah, so which means that whatever their starting price is, that's kind of where they're keeping the contracts at. So they're not, when you make an offer with a builder, it's usually like below their list price. And she said we're not even looking at that. And their incentives have like decreased.
But you gotta, I mean, there's different areas.
Yeah.
This is Folsom. This is a low price point. It's a really good area. They don't need to do much. They're giving maybe a 5,000
credit.
lender credit, right?
Yeah.
Now you could go to a really nice area somewhere else and they may be a little bit further and they're going to need to give more incentives, right?
Oh, so I did also visit another builder, which is a little bit more in the suburbs, so not as highly desirable as
Which one?
Folsom. It was in Lincoln.
Okay.
And she said that they sold 20 homes in the last 2 months.
Richmond American.
Mhm.
Yeah, and one
Yeah.
of them was ours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, they're giving great incentives, which is
Yeah.
bringing people in, getting all of their ready-built homes off the market. So it's still busy out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you guys are definitely looking to purchase a home, I actually just talked to another first-time home buyer and let them know, like, hey, you need to start looking within 2 to 3 months ahead of time, just to understand what the market's doing, what areas you're looking for, really get to know, like, because people who are moving and buying now, they're kind of relocating different areas, different neighborhoods, so it takes some time to really figure out what area you want to
Sure.
look into.
That's why YouTube is so important out there. We
Yeah.
have people from all around the world, honestly, mostly around the country,
Yeah.
but even one out of Guam that got, recently got into a
Yeah,
house last
yeah.
month. We have Utah, that's one of those houses Roses was talking about. Let's talk a little bit about FHA right now.
Okay.
What's going on right now with that?
Yeah, so some news came out that mortgage insurance, so when you have an FHA loan, you have mortgage insurance. And typically that's, because it's a government-backed loan, but it's, usually people who put down less than 20%. But the FHA reduced mortgage insurance premium by 30 basis points. And in numbers term, if you're looking at a $467,000 home, which is the national average as of December, obviously different areas have more expensive homes, you're looking at maybe saving about $1,400 a month in mortgage insurance premium, which is huge.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason behind that is that the Biden administration,
You say $1,400 a month.
a year, $1,400. Did I say $1,400?
I think I was like, hold on, that's a third of the mortgage.
Correction.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
$1,400 a year in mortgage insurance premium, and that's a lot to some people, right?
Yes.
And this is going to benefit, obviously people who are first-time home buyers with less down payment, and so the Biden administration is trying to make things a little bit more affordable so people can buy a home.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's, they're trying
Anything else out there?
They're trying to do, just certain things. I mean, there's new down payment programs coming out. We have lenders that we can connect you to
For sure.
to give you guys information on down payment programs that you have to qualify for them. But there's a lot of opportunities
So I'm
for
gonna
people.
ask you a question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a market update. It's just, do you have any opinion on someone trying to sell their house right now?
Yeah. So if you're trying to sell your house right now, there's still buyers out there. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to sell your home. But one thing that we want to focus on when we talk to sellers is, one, making your home, ready. It's not just, cleaning up a little bit. I mean, it's making it ready so that when a buyer walks in, they can picture themselves in the home.
Well, can I speak on that real quick?
Yeah.
We go to resales all the time. We go to new builds all the time. And when we have clients, and our opinion as well, but when we bring clients to a resale, they almost walk right out and they're like, I'm done with resales. I want to go to new builds.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily because the resale is that much worse. It's looks that much worse, right? The people are just thinking it's still 2021. They could put a sign out and sell it, right? But you have these new builds are on point. These houses are immaculate, right?
Especially in our area. Especially in our area, because we have new builds. Our resale market is competing with the new builds. Now, if you go to different areas where they don't have that many new builds, you know, obviously we still always want to make the house look better, but especially here, I mean, we have clients who literally will be like, oh man.
It's a little embarrassing sometimes going into some of these resales. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know, so I think your advice out there is when you're selling your house, you need to do your best. Do you want, you could sell a house, you know, any house for anything, but what amount do you want to get your house? Do you want to get it for what it's worth or even a little bit over? Presentation is huge. Marketing is huge, right? Really?
Yeah. And our biggest thing right now as well is not only do you want it to be like, you know, clutter free, just make it more neutral, take down all your pictures, just, you know, make it so neutral that people can really picture themselves in it, right?
Now, when you say neutral, do you say an empty house is pretty neutral?
No, I'm saying like if your furniture is in there, try to, I mean, you're moving. Pack everything up. Don't leave all the knickknacks all over the place.
So maybe for this wall, if we take a family picture and put maybe a different picture,
like
a
neutral picture, some kind of artwork that has like, you know, soft colors in it, right?
That's like a partial stage.
Exactly, exactly, and that's, you know, I mean, your realtor could help you with that. Another thing is photos and video. Right now, more so important than ever is to have digital media everywhere. You know, because of the fact that we are finding clients from all over the world moving to our area and to California, it's really important to have that online presence. I've seen pictures online for listings taken on their cell phones with these weird angles and they're blurry and there's, you know, dirty clothes on the floor. Like, that's just not how you're gonna sell your home. And so you need to have a professional videographer and photographer. You need to run social media ads to reach the masses for your home. You know, 90% of buyers actually find their homes online, and if you're selling, you're obviously looking for another home. You're online looking for these homes, and if it looks good on the pictures, you're gonna see them. And, you know, unfortunately, not everybody has the sight to like really see the potential in homes that don't look good online. So, you know, if you want a lot of people to see your home, you need to make it look good online.
How about this? When is a good time in the market? I think the time's coming right around the corner, right?
So spring is actually one of the best times to sell a home. And the reason behind that is a lot of people want to kind of transition to their new homes, their new communities by the time school starts. So every year, even during the pandemic, even during last year, stats actually showed that things picked up in spring as far as the selling market. That's every year for decades that we've been seeing. Spring market has always picked up. People want to get their home on the market. They want to be in escrow, and then they want to close their home and moved in around summer so that by August the kids can start school already.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so guys, we touched a little bit on interest rates going up. It's okay, it's all good. Buyers are having really good deals. Sellers do the right thing, and springtime is the best for sellers also with FHA.
Yep.
So that's what we have right now. We hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, because there's a lot going on out there, please comment below. Make sure you send a little love to that subscribe button if you haven't yet. So hit that notification button so you guys can be the first to know what's going on here in Northern California. And we'd love to connect with you. You guys have any questions, you could, like I said, comment, email, DM us, text us. Our information's down there. So we hope to talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.